Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Coffee Catch-Ups. It's Friday. Who doesn't love a good Friday? Now, I want to make sure that you guys have got me loud and clear. So please jump in the comments, jump in there, give it a like, give it a hello. I want to see that you guys are joining me. And on a beautiful Friday here in Auckland. Unfortunately, Auckland's still in lockdown, and I know that we're seeing that across the country as well, with many people getting out and heading off to KFC and enjoying the fast food. It's quite funny how that's the first thing that people want to do as soon as they get out of lockdown, is head to KFC or McDonald's. It's always also fascinating me, and just while I go on a little bit of a rant while we wait for a couple of people to roll in, is why the supermarkets always go crazy when we go into a lockdown. And what's your theory around that? I mean, do you guys have a theory around why the supermarkets go crazy? I mean, my wife's theory, and it's kind of got some relevance, is that people are kind of eating out so much that they're like, oh, crap, we're going into lockdown. I better head to the supermarket and stock up on some food. It's a fair enough theory. So what do you guys think? Why are people all of a sudden going, and why toilet paper? Is it the change in diet? I don't know. It's an interesting one, but anyway, a little bit of I had not planned on talking about that to start off the day, but hey, it is what it is. It's Friday, and I'm really excited to be here for a Friday. And I know we might as well give it all today, because you guys are going to get a break from me for the next couple of days, being the weekend. And you Aucklanders, you take it easy for the weekend, eh? No going crazy. Now, very exciting in terms of this weekend. It's Father's Day, and I'd like to take the opportunity to yell out to all the parents, the fathers out there, and on everything that you guys do. And also, if you guys get the chance, please head over to the Wealth Mentor Instagram. We put up a post yesterday, and the post was around who is your hero. A lot of the guests that I've had on the show, we talk about influencers, we talk about how they go about their life in order to be successful, but there's always elements that come into it as to what is the driving element that's created who you are as an individual. And for me, I in the post that we put on Instagram, it's all about my dad, who has, his past was succeeded a hell of a lot of amazing things, especially in the motorsport world, as well as that has taken on a bunch of different careers. I mean, I'm probably going to miss a few. He's been an aircraft engineer, motor mechanic, had a carpet laying business. He owned service stations. He's been an insurance broker. He has been a tennis coach, and now he's running a couple of the departments for a university. So it's really cool, and it's inspired a lot. And there's one story which I'd love to share with you, and it's a story that he's only recently told me, and it related to the first time he won a national championship. And I think it's the concept and the way that the thought process is quite inspirational. It's something that for all of us we could take on board. So he talked about the fact that going into the last race, he had to win the race to win the championship. And I was like, were you nervous going into it? And what was the thought process around it? And it was quite interesting that his response to that was no, because I knew that I was going to win that. I had no doubt in my mind at any stage that I was not going to win that race. And that really kind of stood out to me, and starts to really implement that whole power of the mind and the power of how we go about our day-to-day, or how we believe in what we want to achieve. And when you set your mind and your energy to something, it's amazing what we can start to achieve. I mean, for you guys out there, does that story kind of resonate? And who is your hero? Because I know that we put the post up into the question. There's a few of you that have answered, but I was hoping for a couple more of you to let me know who is your hero, and who are people that you're inspired to. I put on my Instagram story a question around it. I got some funny responses. about who people's heroes are. Probably the funniest one was from my barber, who actually responded with that his hero is James Spate, who created Spate's beer, which wouldn't be my choice, but hey, each to their own on jumping onto James Spate as your hero. But who is someone that you look up to or inspires you? It doesn't necessarily have to be family. It could be, I know we had Kyron on the show yesterday. He looks up to Branson. He talks about Branson all the time. He loves the way that Branson approaches things from a mindset, and how the headspace, or the way that Branson comes forward into any situation to achieve, because he's just in that way of thinking. He doesn't believe anything else. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, guys, jump in the comments. Let us know, who is it that you've inspired to? Who do you look up to? And are you looking forward to Father's Day? What's on the cards? I just popped in before, and my family's been doing a bit of baking, so I'm hoping that's for Father's Day. A little bit of shortbread wouldn't go down an absolute treat. For those of you as well that jumped in and tuned in to some of the other episodes, it's been really inspirational to hear how each of the different individuals have gone about their life, or their way of trying to achieve. I think there's a couple of things that I've taken away from the meetings with the different inspirational people, is that there's always some element of setting goals. There's always some element of knowing what you're looking to achieve. Because if the knowledge or the understanding or the situation is to believing or to knowing what you want to achieve, it's easier then to set a plan to achieve that. Whenever we work with our clients one-on-one, a big part of it is establishing what it is we're trying to achieve. And there's a number of elements to setting a goal as well. We look at what you want to achieve. We look at when you want to achieve that by. And then on top of that, and most importantly, we need to figure out what we can do to celebrate achieving that goal. Because for all of us, we need to be having that sense of achievement, that sense of gratitude to ourselves, in order to keep driving on to the next goal and keep pushing ourselves further. So, if anything, try and take that away from people as to the processes that they create in order to achieve the best they possibly can out of any situation. I set myself some lockdown goals even, and I'd like to give you guys a bit of an update on those lockdown goals. So the lockdown goals, a couple of them that I set, one of them was that I wanted to do at least 2 live stream video webinar style a week. I've ended up going in and doing one every weekday, and this is episode number 12 today, I believe, which is really exciting. 12 episodes have gone by so quickly and have been so much fun. I've absolutely loved it. I had the amazing guests and learning from each and every one of them. We've had over 3,000 people view the episodes, which has been really cool as well, to be able to hit that mass of people. And I hope that every time that we get these people on, or myself, that we give you some sort of element to take away. I think, when we look at the knowledge that each individual has, there's so much that we can take away from people in order to inspire, in order to be better ourselves. I was talking to my wife before about next week's guests, and I've got a few lined up, but there's a couple of spots. So again, if you guys are keen, let me know. But I was like, a lot of people don't feel like they're worthy to come on the show. And I don't mean that in any sort of, disrespectful manner. It's more that people often don't appreciate how awesome their story is. They don't necessarily appreciate how influential their story can be on other people. There's people out there who have gone through the same thing, or potentially have going through something that you've been through, and you've come out the other end a stronger person, a better person, and achieved whatever goals. And everybody can take something away from everybody by banding together and bringing a community together, we can help change as many lives as we can. And that's something that I'm truly inspired by. I'm grateful for that we do within Wealth Mentor, and I'd love to keep that going. So if you guys have any sort of story and you want to share it, I have got a couple of spaces next week, and I'd love to have you on. You don't have to be investing specific. Love to hear your story. Hit me up in my DMs or send me a message or an email, jono@wealthmentor.co.nz. Would love to hear from you. And one of the other goals was these working out concept. Now, thinking about doing a workout every day when we're in a 7-day lockdown, that seemed to make a bit of sense. And then Auntie Cinda decides to extend lockdown for another 2 weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a lot of working out. That's probably all I was considering, was that it's a lot of working out. But I've kept it up. And today's workout will be, I've written it down, today's workout will be number 17 in a row. So I'm clearly done more workouts in the last couple of weeks than I've done in a long time, in a few years, I would imagine. I was on a video call with my mum yesterday, and she goes, I watch every day and I can see your face getting thinner every day. So thanks, Mum. I appreciate that. And, I think it's been a vital part of keeping the energy up and the spirits up going through these times, because they are tough times. It's not easy. It's not easy on a lot of us, especially us business owners. This really does bring into times where you appreciate having a portfolio that is still performing for you. Businesses do take a hit. Many of my friends are small business owners, and it's become really tough on them in terms of the income coming in. It's, yes, you get the subsidies, but it does become tough. So, anything we can do to help each other and to grow together is something we can really, really take on board. And that brings me to a story of something that I got, a message I got yesterday. And this really brings me so much joy and thankful for, I guess, doing these coffee catch-ups. A client of ours messaged me and let me know that he was having a tough day, a dark day. It wasn't going his way. Lockdowns have been tough even through Australia, through New Zealand. And he said jumping on and doing listening to the coffee catch up and hearing from us, and the energy and the inspiration and the positivity that we brought really helped him through. And that one message made it all worthwhile, jumping on all these coffee catch ups. And again, that's the message I really want to get across. If you guys feel like you have some sort of story you would like to share, I'd love to hear from you to jump on, because you never know how you could help or change someone else's life through doing that. So in terms of the coffee catch-ups, how have you find them? Again, jump in the chat. Thanks, Mum. Lovely message from my mother there. I love you too, Mother. And that golf swing's looking sharp in that profile picture. It's fantastic. And Tim, I can see that you guys in Australia also had toilet paper issues. I just don't get the toilet paper issue. Anyway, and a lot of people must be enjoying the bread, because the other one is the flour that gets snapped out. So anyway, how have you found the coffee catch-ups? I'd love some feedback as well. If there's something you'd like me to touch on or would like me to go through, please, again, hit me up in the comments, hit me up in the DMs, and let me know if I can help you or bring this up in any way. But what I would like to share with you guys, and I've touched on it a couple times over the last week or so, is something very, very exciting coming up. And I have the ability with this cool software to show you guys the Building Wealth Summit. Now, this is going to be wicked. Next Saturday, we have a summit, which is going to be a 3 to 3.5, 4 hours worth of wicked content. We're going to be talking about the concept of how you can use renovations, how you can use different ways of adding value to property in order to push your wealth forward. Now, this is such a key element when it comes to how you grow your wealth within a portfolio, within property, because of the fact that you have leverage ability, you have the ability to make a large increase in your equity and use that equity. So what I thought I may do, and this is a little bit sneaky, and I haven't told the other presenters I'm going to do this, but I'm actually going to do a little bit of a screen share and give you a bit of a behind the scenes have a look at some of the things that we'll be covering off at the summit coming up next Saturday. Now, you can still get your tickets. If any of my team, I can see a couple of team members are in here. If you can grab the Building Wealth Summit link and drop it into the chat. If not, I'll get onto that after we finish up. But I'll give you a quick sneaky behind the scenes look at what that is actually going to look like at the presentation. Now, if I can figure this one out, let me have a look. Screen share. Yes. Oh, there it is there. Cool. Has that come up for you guys? You can see that there. Cool. Awesome. So the Building Wealth Summit. Now, I've got a few little pictures still to add in there, Paul. Actually, what we're going to be covering off, let's have a look at this. So we're going to be covering off all the different calculations in terms of renovations. You know, how much would you be looking to put into a renovation, and how much you're looking to get out of it in terms of rental increase, in terms of equity increase, in terms of value increase, whether you're trading, different strategies that we can take in on board. I mean, the amount of different ways that we can actually climb the investment. Oh, so much there. I love this slide. Check that out. The different strategies and building the pyramid, growing through the different levels of you're investing, all the way from owning a home to getting up to developments, flick through a whole lot of, I mean, Paul has managed to name streets after his daughters. That's an absolute inspiration. He'll talk to you about how he's able to do that. Transportable homes. There is a whole lot. Actually, I want to show you this number. Have a look at that. I'm going to make that full screen just so you can get a little bit of a look. See, there we go. That's right. We're going to be showing you a deal that makes almost $500,000 worth of profit. The guy who did this deal is going to be on live. Chris, you guys would have caught him on my coffee catch-ups last week. He was on, and he'll be joining us during the summit next week to talk through his deals and his multiple deals that he's actually done. And that one there, which only settled about a month ago, $500,000 worth of profit. How could we be doing that? How could we be making sure that you guys have the ability to do that? This is the knowledge we're going to bring to you. Paul, who's one of the main speakers, again, he was on this coffee catch-up. The dude's like president of Master Builders Association. He's pretty much the mayor of Wairarapa, you would almost say. We've got a session coming up with Paul. It's unfortunately being postponed due to COVID. We're doing a developers workshop down the Wairarapa. Beautiful wines down there. He's going to be covering off developments and how you can look to grow your portfolio through subdivisions, through using the land, and what you can do with current portfolios. Chris, who's doing amazing trades. He's also a builder by trade. What you can do in terms of understanding your budgets, or understanding how to ensure that you are having contingency, so we're not over capitalizing on our renovations, understanding how we run our numbers. So there's a wealth of knowledge there. Guys, I'd highly recommend you getting your tickets. And it's not going to be run through our studio because, hey, we're in lockdown. So we're going to be set up each from home, but it's going to come through at a high level for you guys. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes, making sure that this summit still goes ahead at the awesome level that we always put forward in a digital format. So really excited. Please jump on and get your tickets. There's 3 options in terms of tickets. You can get it for free. Join us live. You can pay $29. You get access to the summit for life, as well as at a live Q&A with Chris, myself, and Paul on the Wednesday night straight afterwards. Awesome. Thank you, Natalia. Natalia, head of customer success there, jumping in with the link. So that's in the comments there. Jump on there, guys, and grab that. Thank you very much. And I lost my train of thought there. 3 ticket options, and the last ticket option, which I love, at $49. It's nothing. You're also going to be donating $20 to charity, and I'll talk a little bit more about that during the summer. So very looking forward to that. Guys, it's Friday. We can't really have the weekend if you're not in Auckland. If you're out of Auckland, you get the opportunity, I guess, to kind of have a bit of a weekend, unless you get to have your takeaways. Make the most of this time. Enjoy Father's Day. It's a really special day for me because, you know, in 2 regards, I mentioned to you about my hero, but also my big goal in life is to be the hero and for my daughters. So enjoy it. Get out there, spend time with your family. hit me up in the DMs. I'd love to hear from you guys all. It's been an absolute pleasure to be doing what are we now 12 episodes deep, and we'll be back on Monday. We've got some awesome guests lined up next week, and please yell out if you have anything. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because that's one of my goals, to double my Instagram following. It's getting there, but not quite double. Guys, have an awesome weekend, awesome Father's Day. Make sure that you are always staying awesome. Catch you next week.